me something, okay? Why do friends cut you off when you've been good to them, but they cut you off? Can anybody tell me that? Yeah, that's the question of today. Okay, I want y'all to think about that. Have you ever had a friend that you know you've been good to, but all of a sudden they ghost you, they disappear, and you trying to wreck your brain trying to figure out what happened? And why sometimes they disappear and they pop up and they disappear again, and you can't, for the life of you, figure out what's going on. Yeah, let's talk about that today. Yeah, come on in the chat and let's talk about this. Or if you're watching the replay or listening to the replay, just come and sit with me and listen for a little bit, and maybe you can leave me a comment if it's on your heart to talk about something. Let's talk about it in the chat. Let's talk about it in the comment section. I think this is important because I think this is a common thing that happens, or at least more common than we think it is, because we know and understand why we leave somebody at the door, why we pushing people away. But do we understand why sometimes it happens to us? If you know you a good person and you know you this person well, I mean, you going out of your way to help them, to assist them, to be there for them, and then all of a sudden they ghost you. So yeah, please tell me if you ever notice how, them very friends that you bent over backwards for, the ones you fed on occasions, the ones you prayed for, the ones you picked up, when they were down, those be the ones, without a doubt, that'll cut you off. Child, I'll tell you like the elders used to say, sometimes the people you help the most will hurt you the quickest. Yeah, let's go ahead and unpack this suitcase because some of us been dragging this luggage around like it's, the wheels don't work on the luggage no more. You know how you have your favorite piece of luggage. It's been here and there with you, and you done. It's been tossed around at the airport, and maybe one of the wheels done fell off, and you got to your destination, and you determined that you ain't gonna carry this suitcase, but you carrying it, and you dragging it, and the wheels don't work no more. So guess what? You carrying it from place to place all over again. Okay, so we ain't sitting and wondering about these folks no more, okay? You know you been good to them, you done your part. That's it. That's point blank. You done your part. You cannot make somebody be your friend just because you care about them, okay? And the same thing go for family members as well. You done your part. Sometimes in life, people just can't get right. No matter what you do, they can't get right. No matter how much help you give them, they can't get right. And like I said earlier, some of us go out of our way to help people without even thinking about maybe our help, our specific help, ain't really what they want. That's not why they were there in the first place. They had other intentions for being there, and being your friend or being close to you in the way that you think people should act when they're close is not why they were there. That's why they're able to just pick up and walk out of your life and come back at their convenience. Because your friendship is not really what they wanted. And what I really want you to do is pick up your life and move on. And some of you might say it's not that easy. It's gotta be. It's gotta be like that, guys, because if a person keeps hurting you, you can't let them keep coming back hurting you. You gotta have the courage to take care of yourself. And that includes protecting yourself from people who do not have good intentions for you. And there are all kind of reasons why people walk out of your life, okay? Especially when you leveling up, improving your mind, your money, improving your peace. Some folks, they can't handle that. Like grandma used to say, everybody can't go where God is taking you. And over the course of these years, I'm gonna tell you, grandma wasn't lying to you, okay? Some friends, they feel guilty being around you, someone who treated them right, okay? When they know they've been acting shady towards you, they know, you don't know, but they know. So they ghost themselves. When the guilt becomes too much, they guilt themselves. As the elders used to say, honey, a hit dog will holler. And baby, some of them dogs been hollering for a long time. You just ain't been listening. I'll tell you another reason. Some friendships end because they only love the version of you who was struggling. I know you done heard that before. Let that sink in though. I mean, think about it. When you stop being the friend that they could drain, the person they could come and dump on, the person they can call and complain and whine, and the person that they can depend on, oh, suddenly you are the problem. I had an auntie, right? She used to say, some folks don't want a friend. They want a free therapist with no license and no bills, no invoice at the end of that conversation. And I'll tell you another reason. Jealousy. They straight jealous of you, especially when you shining without even trying. You got that low effort energy. Okay, the elders used to say, I'll tell you another thing. Jealousy hides behind them jokes, them subtle compliments, and even silence. Woo, let's keep it going. Let's think about friendship like, you know, cooking greens, okay? You cooking some greens today. You gotta pick out the good leaves, honey. You gotta wash off the mess, and you gotta throw out anything that's wilted, okay? Anything that's ain't working in your life, like the people that come and go, it disrupting your peace. Otherwise, that whole pot start tasting funny, don't it? The same thing with them people. You keep holding on to them spoiled greens. Don't be surprised when your peace starts smelling spoiled too. They disrupting your life. They're handing over every problem they ever had to you to either solve or come to some kind of alternative that they could. And then whenever you figure it out, they gone. They gone until the next problem comes and let you not be there at the exact moment that they call you with the next problem. Okay? Because some of those folks will cut you off because you stopped letting them use you, because you finally said no without explaining, because you stopped explaining yourself to grown people who already know better. Why should you explain if you got something else to do, that your time is slotted for something else, or your funds are slotted for something you want to do for yourself? Oh yeah, you're not there for them, they cutting you off. As the big mamas in the community used to say, if they walk away, let them. God heard conversations that you didn't hear. You see, those people, they don't realize your value, okay? Until you go silent. You see, you didn't lose a friend. They just lost access to you. Somebody rare, somebody loyal, somebody consistent, somebody solid. If you weren't all those things, they wouldn't have never came to you. They would have never been attracted to you. And when they do realize your value, the value that you have in their life, oh, sometimes even then, they won't even apologize. They'll just pop back up at a later date. Maybe they think you forgot what happened. Maybe they don't think you noticed that they were absent when you needed them or when you called them to check on them and they were off doing the next thing with the next person. Oh no, honey, they don't have no consideration for that. But you need to move on. You need to protect your peace. You are walking into rooms you know that God already put your name on the door. Why are you looking back for that dead weight to carry on into your future? You don't need to do that. You just need to move on, because sometimes those friendships, those relationships, those situationships, they have expiration dates on them. Hey, family, thanks for joining the chat. Um, And for those watching the replay, we're just talking about diving into why folks cut off the ones who've been good to them. So drop a good morning in the chat, a good afternoon, or good night in the chat or in the comment section. Let us know that you were here. And tell us, have you ever experienced this? Well, I won't run on about this because I think y'all get my point by now. But I will close with this little nugget, okay? Remember the elders used to say, when a person can walk out of your life, let them walk. Don't beg nobody to stay where God is already removing them. You're not losing friends. You're just losing dead weight. You moving on with your life. You focusing on you. You're gonna make new friends in the future, right? And those family members that can't get right, honey, just move on because family is the people you choose to be close to. Okay, doesn't really have to be your relatives. Family can be your chosen circle, your chosen group. Okay, you don't have to. You don't have no obligation to hang around and try to be friends with people who are constantly hurting you, popping in and out of your life. Those are my thoughts. You let me know what yours are.